I'm Pastor Tony Davis. I'm here with Julie Price today at Livingstone's Family Church. We've been doing a series called The Journey, that life's a journey. We're on a journey with Jesus to discover our purpose and our reasons for here and the challenges that we have in life sometimes. And so Julie has been on an interesting journey for the last about 18 months. So we're going to ask her a few questions. She's going to share with that journey and what God has done for her and gotten her here today, as I hope to encourage someone today that maybe needs a bit of encouragement with the situation that they're in. So Julie, if you would, start with us about 12 to 18 months ago, where you were and what was going on with you.
I was diagnosed with cervical cancer, stage 4.
Wow.
And so I doing chemo, doing the lots of practice.
So you were not feeling well for a long time.
Yes.
And you finally got the diagnosis. And so when the doctor told you that, what did you hear? What was your thoughts?
I was at work, and so I got a call from my doctor for my test results, and so they said it was cervical cancer. It was cancer, and so after I hung up, my first thought was, it was shock. So I was very shocked, and I had to sit there for a few minutes, and then it just sort of hit me. It was, this is not a death sentence. This is not a death sentence.
So you felt the Lord speak that to you?
Yes, and so I felt like, it just hit me. It was, and where it came from at the time, I couldn't. It was just, but it was like, God's got this. So that was what I felt and believed from the bottom of my heart, that God's got this.
So at that time, you didn't know how severe the cancer was. So what happened? You've heard Lord speak to you now that He's got.
I saw I went to the cancer center and had an appointment. So they scheduled a couple of scans for me, and I didn't. I had them scheduled, but in the meantime, I'm getting weaker, and my husband Brian, he was worried. I couldn't walk across the room, without getting out of breath. And
now we'll say you used to exercise and work out and all. You were very physically fit.
So he called the cancer center, and they were like, take her to the emergency room. So I was admitted, and I was there for a week, and I did get I got a PET scan there. And so that is where I had cancer. It was in my lungs. It was in my
So they said it was what stage?
It was stage 4.
Which is the worst stage, right? There's 4 stages, and you had the worst of the worst.
So it was stage 4.
Okay.
I got chemo right there in the hospital. Right there in my first round of chemo in the hospital. And I had nephrostomy tubes, which are tubes that they put to drain your kidneys. So, and that was kind of worked on my ability. So I didn't feel like doing a whole lot anyway. So I went home, and every 3 weeks I did chemo. And so I had a scan.
So let's back up through that just a little bit. I'm sure there were days you felt really bad. How many times did you hear that word over and over, I've got this, in your head that you heard?
A lot. I said it a lot. I told people a lot in a minute. I didn't, I was too sick to be too scared. I mean, there were times I got scared, don't get me wrong, but I was just too weak, and but I knew in the bottom of my heart that God had this. And my beautiful mother-in-law, she would come and sit by my bed, and I didn't want to put any more on my family, my husband and my kids, and so she would come and sit by my bed, and she would pray with me, and she would just lift my spirits, and she'd let me cry. She would let me cry to her and get my fears out talking to her.
So how was the support from the friends and family in the church around you?
Oh, it was wonderful. Like you guys, the church was just came together, and I mean immediately. I hadn't even known the gist of everything, and the church was just wonderful. That bringing meals and just doing shopping for us, and getting with my family and raising them up, and anything you need, absolutely, y'all were there. My friends, my work was wonderful. I got to work from home when I could. And I never missed a paycheck.
Awesome.
Yeah, so but yeah.
So how long were you in the worst of it, would you say? The treatments and the feeling bad and not really being able to get around?
Probably from July to February. And I say that because I still had the nephrostomy tubes in, and I probably should have gotten out of bed and moved around more than I did, but I just couldn't. But once I got those tubes out, I was able to move around a little bit better. But I was already weak before this really all started, before the chemo. So I had a long way to go to build my strength up. So yeah.
So Julie, tell us, after all you went through there, you get another PET scan and another doctor's report. Tell us what that was and how you felt.
So I got a PET scan in November, and so I didn't get back to the doctor to find out the results until like mid-December. I have gotten messages that on the app that it was good, that it looked good, but didn't know how good. So my mother-in-law and she took me to my appointment that day, and so we were sitting there, and so they showed the scans, and the scan shows that the first scan, it was all lit up, so that was all the cancer, and the second scan was black. It was all black. It was all gone.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's cancer-free, and I cried. My mother-in-law and I both, we sat there and cried, because we were so happy. I was not expecting that, and I should have, but I was,
You've been through a lot. Well, and to add one other thing in there, the reason your husband wasn't with you is because he had to start a new job in the process of all this, so he had to go through a job transition in the middle of taking care of you and all of that.
Right.
And yet, he got both of you through it as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So here we are, just over a year later.
Yeah.
You've been through a very tough season. How do you feel today compared to 18 months ago, physically and in your outlook on life?
Oh, I feel wonderful. I just, it's the simple things, like when I'm outside and the wind's blowing my hair, blows my hair, it just brings me joy. And, God could, he did this. And as bad as cancer is, as bad as all of it was, he was there by my side, and I cried out to him, and he was there, and, strengthened me, and he still strengthened me today. And I as bad as cancer was, it brought me closer to him. I had faith, and I prayed before that, before all of that, but it's just really, it's brought me closer to God, and it just, it shows, and I hope to let people know that he can heal, and he does heal. I could have died, and I realized that, but I'm here today to say that God he does miracles. They do happen, and you have to have faith, and you have to keep believing, and it's just, it was a wonderful experience too. I know that sounds crazy, but it was really bad, but it was good too. And
well, Julie, we would like to say thank you for not only being a part of church here with us and sharing with us today. I know it's very difficult, but thank you for your faith, to hear what God told you. And even in the darkest moments, you got through it, and your testimony is here today. If you're out there today and you've got a bad diagnosis, you've got a bad situation, maybe it's not a health, maybe it's a family or another situation, If you want us to pray with you and to be with you, come visit us here in Rolesville. We'd love to have you come and be a part of it. Julie's here as a testimony, and you can see her glowing, and there's others as well. So we'd invite you to come, be a part of what God's doing here. And Julie, thank you for what you allowed him to do in your life. And we'd love to have you, if you want to visit us at Livingstone's Family Church or lsfamily.org. We'd love to have you come visit us and talk to you, pray with you, and help you any way we can. We love you. God loves you. Make it a great week.